And once again, I extend a warm welcome to all of you from the Spectra team. And thank you so much for taking out your time from your busy schedule to be a part of this webinar. As some of you might know, Spectra team has been conducting webinars over the last 6 months on various subjects. We did it on managed Wi-Fi to start with. Then we did on managed SD-WAN and security. And then we did a different vertical-based approach. We did a webinar on how schools can benefit from the managed services offering from different operators. So this has been our trend, and going forward, we will also be conducting a few webinars on the artificial intelligence-based video analytics and how cloud voice is evolving and how it is helping the businesses in today's pandemic environment. Apart from that, the webinars that we do, we also have knowledge blocks in our website. Priya will share the link in the communication that we will send out. We have blogs on different topics covering from a basic network security all the way to a complex deployment of network as a service model. And let me introduce the SHAM group. It's synonymous with the Indian telecom sector. The group has been operating in the telecom domain for over 4 decades. They started with manufacturing of VSAT equipments, which we continue to do still. We launched the MTS brand of mobile services. This was in partnership with the Russian government company called Sistema. And as the mobile industry evolved over a period of time, the Russian partner exited the Indian environment, and we also exited the business, but we continued our presence in the wireline internet and the ILD voice services. From there on, it has been evolving journey for us. We have migrated and evolved into a managed services provider in 2018-19 timeframe. And we rolled out this concept called network as a service, what we call as a short form in NAS in our presentation. We have been quite successful in this domain. We have about 1,000 projects rolled out across 150 cities. We have about 6,000 kilometers of optical fiber in very specific key cities where we have wireline broadband customers across B2B and B2C segments. And we also have AI and ML based video analysis, video analytics platform, which we are doing pilots with the different customers right now. And coming back to the topic of today, we just want to cover on who is our customer that we are talking about. If you have noticed, Priya has mentioned a word called multi-location businesses. This solution that we are going to talk about is something which is very unique to the small businesses. They are going to get enterprise grade solution at the cost of a SME based offering, I would put it that way. And if we define that customer segment, who are they? Their offices are very small. Maybe they don't have more than 30 employees, maybe 20, 30 employees in each branch. And they are spread across the country. They have more than 20 locations, 25 locations, and they are even present in the remote parts of the country. And geographically, disparity across the country makes them have the compulsory mandate that they should interact with different operators at different service providers at various locations. And hence the challenges that we are going to talk about today. And because of the nature of the business, they obviously need voice and data interconnectivity between their offices and also their headquarters. And they, if I have to call it, how do they contribute to the economy? They form the very critical component of the economy. Even though they are small in terms of location sizes, they are part of the growing retail segment. They are part of the growing logistics segments, which is a big driver for our e-commerce businesses. And they also part of the small BFSI, small bank kind of a setup where they have presence in many cities, but they are very limited in terms of the number of employees operating out of a particular branch. That said, what is the need for these customers to have very enterprise kind of a solution like this? Because they run critical applications, which is very essential for their day-to-day operations, and hence they need an always-on good quality internet solution. Given this background of the customer persona that we are talking about, we will during this presentation, Ananay and me will make you talk about the challenges that they are facing. We will explain about how did we arrive at the solution, how did the solution solve some of the real life problems and some use cases about it. I'll hand out to Ananay to continue the conversation. Ananay.
Thanks, Kanan. Hello, everyone. I welcome you once again to this webinar where over the next 30 odd minutes, we'll be seeing how you can achieve network agility for your business, especially in a multi-location environment. Now, we all are fully aware that the dependency of businesses on internet has increased significantly in the current scenario. It is unimaginable to run a business smoothly without internet. Now, given that fact, it is very critical for businesses to have uninterrupted internet supply for their businesses to be up and running always. However, this is not easy and more difficult, especially in a multi-location scenario, and it comes with its own challenges. In the subsequent slide, we'll see the challenges in detail, and then we'll try to understand how this disrupt the internet availability for business owners. Now, coming to the challenges, the first set of challenges is related to the low service availability, or you can say mostly internet downtime. So internet downtime occurs when your link is down and you are not able to connect to the internet. In this scenario, your business stops functioning and the operations are disrupted because you are not connected to internet, you are not able to continue. And since in a conventional setup, you don't have a secondary link which could act as a backup when the primary link is down. So your site is down and then it results in the loss of productivity and efficiency. Also, since broadband service providers do not provide any committed uptime, and so there is no such guarantee that your internet will be up for a certain duration and will be down for you will have a minimal downtime for your businesses. Coming to the second set of challenges, here we see that since your business is spread across multiple locations, to maintain and to procure the network and get the connectivity at the different sites, you have to deal with multiple vendors across cities. In dealing with multiple vendors, this brings a different set of challenges. Like you have to deal with them. You have to deal with them individually in different cities. It becomes very difficult to restore the service once the link is down or once you have any service request. Also, it brings some operational issues and related to tracking multiple bills and then paying them. And since you have to keep a track of so many vendors, you might end up missing some of the payments, and then it could lead to suspension of services. Also, in this multi-vendor environment, there is no service level agreement between you and the vendor from whom you are taking the internet service. So that they do not guarantee any service. Like they do not guarantee you that in such a time you will be serviced or the service will be available for such time, and therefore there is no commitment related to repair or resolution time. The third set of challenge is related again specifically to a multi-location business, where since you have multiple sites and you are connected to multiple networks across cities, you do not have a comprehensive view of all the networks. So by comprehensive view, what I mean to say is that you do not have a centralized platform or say a dashboard where you can view all your networks and you can see which site is down and which network is not functioning and so on. In the network manageability part, suppose if you have procured even a backup link and you have two links at your site from two different service providers. In that case, if the primary link is down, you have to switch over to secondary link manually. And this is cumbersome because then you have to keep a dedicated manpower to monitor your network and then switch over to the secondary when the primary is down and vice versa. This there is another challenge, that is reactive repair and resolution. So what I mean to say by reactive repair and resolution is that whenever any issue occurs at your site, then you have to lodge a complaint with the service provider, and then that service request is raised, and then the service and the then issue is resolved within days, if not within hours or days, and then you get the internet connectivity again. So it is a very cumbersome as well as time taking process. Now, having seen these challenges, which are very common to the businesses which are operating in which are spread across several locations, now we'll see what is a managed broadband solution and how it can help you provide a seamless connectivity and keep your internet as well as your business up and running. So managed broadband solution is a solution which is available with two separate links from different service providers. So as we talked in the about in the challenges that if your primary link is down, there is no secondary link or a backup link, and even if you have a backup link, you have to manually switch over to that link to keep your site up and running. Managed broadband solution comes with two links. One is primary and the other one is secondary. And with the help of an equipment that is installed in the customer's premises, there is an auto switchover functionality that is available. So whenever your primary link is down, it is automatically switched over to the secondary link and vice versa. Now, as the name suggests, managed broadband is a fully managed service. So you don't have to deal with multiple vendors to procure the link and to get the connectivity and to make your site live. There is a single solution provider. You can go to that single solution provider and give them your requirement, and they will, from procuring the link, getting the feasibility, getting the link from the different broadband service provider, they will manage everything. And in that sense, we can say that since we have a single service provider who is managing the broadband, it is an end-to-end solution. Also, a managed broadband solution is available as under a pay-as-you-grow model. So what I mean to say by pay-as-you-grow model is that suppose, let us take an example that if you have multiple sites, if you have 50 sites that are spread across the country in different states, and you initially do not want to start with all the 50 sites. So suppose you are interested in managed broadband solution, but you want to get it for 25 sites or 30 sites initially, and then maybe after 6 months or a year, you want to expand it to the other sites, other 10 or 20 sites. Similarly, suppose your business is expanding and currently you do not know that in how many cities or at how many sites your business will be expanded in a year or two. So you can also get this solution from the service provider, and then your network can expand as your business expands. So you can keep adding different sites and keep getting the connectivity and all, getting the managed broadband services from the same service provider. So this in turn gives you a flexibility and a total control over your choice of how many sites you want to connect with a managed broadband solution, and how you want to expand and keep adding sites further in the future. Now, having said about managed broadband solution, we'll see some of the key features of this solution in detail in the subsequent slide. Now, here the first set of features is related to connectivity and is related to providing high uptime. So as we saw in the challenges, that since we are relying on a single primary network, and in case it goes down, there is no secondary link or backup. Even if there is a secondary backup, you require manual switchover to change from primary to secondary. In this managed broadband solution, primary and secondary broadband links are procured from two different broadband providers, and there is a facility of auto switchover. So an equipment is installed in the customer's premises, and whenever the primary link is down, the secondary link is activated automatically. And when the primary link is again up, so it switch overs to the primary link again. So there is no manual intervention or no dedicated manpower required for this. Since these two links are procured from different service providers, it results in a high uptime as well, and the downtime is minimal, or you can say there is almost no downtime in this scenario. The second set of features of a managed broadband solution is related to monitoring and management. So, like I talked about, if you have several sites and you don't have network visibility on which site has which network up and running and which network is down, here in this managed broadband solution, you can have centralized network operation center, and that is provided by the solution provider. And premium tech support is available 24 across 7, and they proactively monitor the networks as well. So, like in a conventional broadband, you see that when any issue occur or when any network is down, you have to raise a complaint, then the service request is raised, and then your problem is solved, and then your site is again live. This takes a lot of time. In the managed broadband solution, the dedicated team is monitoring your networks proactively, and whenever there is any issue with any of the network, automated SMS and email alerts are generated, so that issue can be solved within no time. And most of the time it happens that complaints get resolved even without customer intervention. So you will not even notice that there was some problem with the network, and it gets resolved. That is this facility is available. This is a feature of managed broadband solution. Now the third set of features that I'm going to talk about is since you don't have to deal with multiple vendors, here you have only a single service provider who manages your broadband at all the sites, and you have a single dashboard where you can view the network activity, as well as you can see whether the network is up or down for all the locations from a single dashboard. Therefore, you have a control over the network, and you have a greater visibility over the network. And since a single service provider is there in this scenario, so you have a single billing and single payment. So there is no hassle as such in this scenario. So these are some of the major key features of managed broadband solution, and we can clearly see that these features are solving all the challenges that we saw, which are there for a conventional setup. Now, in this slide, we'll see a comparison between managed broadband solution and broadband. It might feel a bit repetitive, but the idea here in this slide is to emphasize on the comparative advantage of a managed broadband solution over broadband. And it is to show you that how your business can be more productive, more efficient with a managed broadband solution over a broadband solution. Now, comparing the WAN connectivity, so we just saw that managed broadband solution comes with dual connectivity. So there is a primary link and another is secondary link that acts as a backup. And so whenever primary link is down, you get the secondary link activated. However, this is not the case with the broadband, where you are getting only a single link, and when that link is down, you can not do anything but to wait to get that link up and running from the service provider. Now coming to the second point, that is auto link switchover. So this is available in a managed broadband solution, while in a broadband, even if you procure two links from two different service providers, you need a dedicated manpower to have this functionality. Talking about SLA, so since the system relies on two different links from two different service providers. So a high SLA a high SLA of 99% is committed, while there is no such service level commitment or uptime commitment in broadband solution. Coming to the monitoring part, we saw that we have a dedicated the solution provider will give you a dedicated team who monitors your networks proactively, and therefore the issue resolution is very fast. On the other hand, in the broadband, the method is reactive and manual. So you have to intervene, you have to you have to give service request, and then that service is restored. Coming to analytics and reports, so that is very relevant for a multi-location business since you are operating across multiple sites. These analytics and reports are very much relevant, and that is available in a managed broadband solution, while the same is not there for a normal broadband connection. Support again is available 24/7 and proactive, which is reactive which is not present in the other one. Now coming to the security features. So suppose if your business has some critical requirement of network security, so these features can be provided with a managed broadband solution. It is available on an optional basis. However, these services are not there for a broadband. So we saw that definitely there is no doubt that managed broadband solution provides you multiple features that are comparatively way better than a normal broadband. Here in this slide, we'll see a high-level architecture of how the managed broadband solution is deployed at the customer premises. Therefore, in this diagram, you can see that two different internet broadband links are procured obviously from two different service providers, and then they are terminated over a CPE, and then the devices at the customer's end, like laptop, mobile, or if the customer has a local area network, that is connected to this CPE, and then internet access is there. And again, I would like to repeat that the CPE that is deployed at the customer premises takes care of the switchover functionality. So it switches over between primary and secondary link automatically. Now we'll see some of the case studies related to this solution. Before moving forward, Kannan, would you like to add some words here? Kannan, you are on mute.
Thanks, Anunay. I'm summarizing what we discussed so far so that there is clarity on what use case we are talking about. We spoke about a customer persona. We are going to cover in those segments in the use cases, which segments these customers belong to, and what is their use case, etc. And we also spoke about the challenges that we faced vis-a-vis a traditional broadband solution, and how managed broadband solution solve some of these problems that we have highlighted in our discussion so far, and how these solutions have over a period of time kept the customers going forward in their businesses, and also grow their businesses, and how they leveraged it to get benefits from this solution. We will talk about a few cases now covering retail and stockbroking and logistics. All right. Yeah, the first case is about, actually it's not retail, it's the QSR chain. This is a pretty large chain which is present across the country with primary presence in the South Indian market. They offer the food, fast food stuff, and since they are a QSR and people come and dine out there in their locations, they also offer free Wi-Fi to their customers. They had a few big revenue risks in terms of what we have highlighted here. They were losing about 10% of the businesses in terms of billing. They were not able to do it because of intermittent network connectivity. And since this is a QSR chain and a very famous one, of course, they were also serving through the food aggregators like Swiggy and Zomato and all. and their intermittent connectivity in different shops actually, while the Swiggy and others aggregate the orders at a central location, these actual orders does not get passed on to the respective branches from which they have to service the customer. So they were losing about 20% of their online orders because of connectivity issues. These are the front-facing customer issues, and the customers complained about Wi-Fi speeds and non-availability and stuff like that. And while these challenges were on the customer side, they also had problems in terms of inventory management, as they were not able to update their central systems from the back end either on a batch basis or on a continuous basis. So when they indicated to us that these are the business challenges, we found out amongst all these, one of the big problem area for them is that they cannot afford enterprise grade connectivity like an ILL or an MPLS expensive solutions. So they were saying that how can you solve the problem with some broadband connectivity and at a low cost model type. So when we explained what we have described here in the discussion so far, they were pretty much convinced that this should be something which they have to work on. And when we deployed, it's about, I would say, 3-4 months of deployment in their shops. I think we should have covered by about 70% of their shops so far. Some of them are still pending to be covered. What they have come back and told us is that since the solution has been deployed and they have the habit of doing customer surveys and feedbacks quite frequently because the industry is very competitive, they said that there is a significant visible 20% jump in the customer satisfaction. When they meant this jump, it cuts across all three pain points that we have described in the context. It's about catering to online orders, which was 100% complaints now, the Wi-Fi services or the billing issues. All these were taken care of, and increase of 20% satisfaction scores is a big in today's environment when the QSR industry is very competitive. And because they are able to update their backend systems on time, pretty much their inventory was running smooth. There were no delays, and these are the intangible benefits that they got out of it, even though they can't quantify in a numerical manner. They said that definitely there are no problems in the inventory management as we see today after the implementation of the solution. As you can see, the overall benefit that's coming out of the solution is not only cutting across the revenue chain, the customer satisfaction scores, they are able to get some intangible benefits also out of it. There are some examples which Anunay can quote in the next few slides. Then you will understand, will be able to appreciate how this solution is cutting across different verticals, and in each vertical, how the solutions are given with the basic understanding of the customer pain points. Anunay?
Thanks, Karan, for explaining that case study of a QSR chain. Now, in this, now the next case study that we are going to see of a logistics company. So this is a big logistics company who has a partnership with a large e-commerce platform, and since they are connected to a large e-commerce platform, the quality of service is very important for this logistics company. However, since the company is spread across multiple locations and have multiple sites, they were facing the issue of frequent internet downtime at these sites, because at most of the sites they were relying on a normal on a conventional broadband. However, at some of their sites they do had a backup link for connectivity. However, due to the manual switching and all, there were delays. Now this internet downtime resulted in inability to track the goods at the last mile delivery, and since they were not able to track these goods for delivery, the deliveries were getting delayed and the customers' complaints were rising day by day. Due to this, they were also on the edge of losing the big contract with the e-commerce platform. So the challenges that we identified in this context were frequent internet disconnection for those sites where there was a single link, and for those sites where there was there were dual links available. So manual switching of networks was an issue. And due to the manual switching, it was taking more time than required in switchover. And also, since this logistics company is spread across multiple sites across the country, so for connectivity, they had to deal with multiple vendors for these locations, and it was getting very difficult for them to manage those multiple vendors. Also, although the quality of service was important for them because they were in partnership with the e-commerce platform. However, they were not able to get any SLA or any uptime commitment from the vendors or the service providers who have provided the internet connectivity to them in various cities. Now, in this context, our managed broadband solution uh, provided them dual links at each of their sites. So there was no issue of internet downtime, and since the managed broadband solution comes with a SLA of 99%, so that ensured that most of their sites were up and running with minimal or zero downtime. Also, this solution was provided to them by a single solution provider. So the issue with managing multiple vendors in different cities was taken care of, and they just have to connect with a single solution provider, and all their sites were taken care of. They were also provided a SLA of 99% that I just mentioned. So this all resulted in an immediate decrease in the customer complaints, and also since the management of multiple vendors was not there now in the scenario, the operations cost also came down significantly for them. The next case study we'll see is of a stockbroker firm. So this is basically a chain. Who has which is mostly spread in the northern parts of the country. So their core business is to provide investing ideas and portfolio management services to their clients. They also manage the investment, or you can say portfolio of their clients. So since the majority of their business was dealing with the stock market, they were internet uptime was very critical for them because they cannot compromise with internet downtime. Because even if the placing of orders in the stock market gets delayed by seconds, it could result in huge losses for them and for their customers. So it was very critical. However, they were facing many network downtime, and then their order failure rate was more than 5%. Also, one peculiar thing about this stockbroker was that they were vulnerable to network attacks since they were an investment management firm. So they also needed some security at the network level from us. The challenges that were identified in this scenario were again frequent internet disconnection. And that resulted in a high order failure rate. Security features were lacking in their current setup, and they were not able to protect their network. And dealing with multiple vendors for internet and security again resulted in cumbersome vendor management, and there was no SLA available from the vendors. In this scenario, our managed broadband solution provided them with a premium tech support and auto failover facility with dual links that significantly brought down their order failure rate to less than 1%. And our state-of-the-art security solution provided them with security features that protected their network from network external threats or attacks. And this also reduced their IT costs more than 20%. And since order failure rate was decreased, so they were having more happy customers now. So this is all from my side. Kanan, would you like to add?
Yeah, thanks once again, Anay. It was a good summary of what has been deployed or what can be deployed using a managed broadband solution. And I hope it clarifies that what this solution can do different businesses. We spoke about stockbroking, we spoke about QSR, and we spoke about the other one. It is also equally useful in, say, retail shops or retail chains and other small offices where there is inter-branch connectivity required, where there is no provision for spending huge amounts of money on enterprise grade services. This is obviously one of the few solutions that has been deployed around a basic internet connectivity. When we talk about broadband, all everyone thinks about is at the end of the day, it's a plain interconnected. What big deal about it? But yes, we can build around innovative solutions as an industry, as a sector, and help businesses grow from what they are to big time. And hopefully this discussion is useful for everyone who have participated. We will now take on the queries that has come up in the chat board, and maybe we can take questions on voiceover also. Over to Priya.
Thank you, Anunay and Kanan. It was indeed an insightful session. Now we'll go ahead and take some questions. First question is from Ritu. Are there any location restrictions for this services, for this service? Kanan, Anunay, anyone?
I can answer that. Like I said in the beginning itself, we are a pan-India operator, a pan-India managed service provider. We are network agnostic and geography agnostic. This solution can be provided across any location in the country. There is no geographic restrictions on this service, on this solution.
Okay. Next question is from Sulabh. What type of security devices are used for this solution?
We have tied up with multiple vendors, the who's and who's of the world. We don't want to name them in this conversation, but we can share the names offline when we are communicating with each other. But I can assure that the best of the best is available with us from a solution perspective.
Okay. Okay. So next question is from Arushi. Can I use this solution for inter-branch connectivity?
Yes, it can be. We haven't displayed the use case here, but it will require an additional configuration between the routers that we are giving as a part of the auto switchover functionality. Inter-branch connectivity depends on how what are the features that they want. If it is a plain vanilla IPsec tunneling or a simple VPN creation, that can be done. But if it's a complex requirement, then we will have to build some solution over and above the solution that we discussed today. We can look at the case and propose a solution on the based on the needs of the customer.
Okay. Okay. Priyank is asking, is this dedicated internet service?
No, it is not. Like the solution has been explained from the beginning, it consists of two broadband connectivity in the backend. The USP of the solution is that it's not a dedicated connectivity, but it gives you higher uptimes and higher SLAs. So in today's environment, if you go and ask for a SLA or an uptime for a broadband service, nobody will give. But in this solution, the uptime and the SLA ensures that the internet connectivity is always available. And since the broadband that we provide or typically provided in this solution are in the range of 100 Mbps, I don't think quality should be an issue at all, even though it is not dedicated. So if I compare a 10 Mbps ILL service to 100 Mbps broadband, obviously the prices makes a lot of difference, but at the cost that someone can purchase the solution from some solution provider, this is definitely equal, I would say better than the single ILL solution.
Okay. Kumar is raising hand. I am allowing you to talk, Kumar. Please ask your question.
Hello. Yeah, this is Kumar, and I'm from Tata Communications. Just wanted to know what's the maximum bandwidth we can propose to our customers in the managed broadband solution. So, is there any particular restriction on the bandwidth, or else we can go till gig bandwidth? Or else just wanted to understand. I know maximum in our broadband it will not be more than 100, but just wanted to check now in a special case.
Kumar, I'll understand in a slightly different way. The solution has no restrictions, right? The CPE that we are going to provide, the ports that it supports in terms of switchover and all, they are gigabit ports. The question is, where is the location? Are there service providers available? Like I had explained, it is, yeah, we can provide gigabit based solutions also, but I assume that, given the segment that we are talking about, someone on a retail or a shop or whatever we are focused on in this discussion, they might not need that much, but it is potentially possible that way. If someone is looking for a gigabit solution, I think they would better go for a higher version of the solution and not this level. That's the segment is very clear, Kumar. We are looking at someone who needs a very cost-effective solution and doesn't want to spend too much on it.
Understood. I'm clear. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Okay, thank you, Kumar, for asking the question. And it looks like we have covered all the questions. Is there anything else you want to cover up before we wrap up, Kanan and Anunay?
I would like to thank everyone who has participated, and Kumar for your question, which was very relevant. And wish you all the best. I hope all your families are safe and healthy. We will stay in touch with you guys. You can stay in touch with us. We will share the contact details and the communication channels. Priya will send out the email which will contain all the details of the deck that we have shared today. Please feel free to reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I hope it was an insightful session for all of you, and you must have got some relevant information that can help you achieve network agility that we talked about for your business and make your business more productive. Thank you once again for taking out time and listening to us. Be safe and healthy.
Great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. And as Kanan mentioned, we'll keep on organizing many more such sessions and hope to see you there. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.